Well, it was a huge week in Vegas with an electric atmosphere all over Sin City, and the players certainly put on a show at Allegiant Stadium.
From Las Vegas, Nevada, we are just moments away from rugby league history. Oh, there's a strong shot. Work the short side. Mitchell goes for it himself and scores. Manly with Luke Brooks going through and Luke Brooks scoring.
Game 2 in Vegas. Roosters, Broncos. Oh, Walsh. Caught by Redley. Oh, shot by our man Victor. Here they go. Manu Nabi. Flick around the corner. There's your magic show in Vegas. Walsh. And great hands again. Here go the Broncos. They're back in town. Tedesco, there he goes. Consider the fitted sheet has been folded and put in a linen cupboard. The red, white and blue of the Roosters wins in Vegas.
One of the biggest and best weeks in the history of the game of rugby league, and it was just a privilege to be there. Let's bring the journos straight in. Brent Reid and Dave Riccio, you two were there with us. Wasn't it just an extraordinary week?
Yeah, it was a cracking week, bro. Good to be home. It was a great week over there, great week.
Why was it good to be home?
Lots of fun.
Did Vegas get you like it got everyone else?
It exhausted me, bro.
Yeah. Was there a bit of pleasure in there?
It stuck with you on Saturday night. That wore me down. You and Buzz.
You and Buzz just walked into the nightclub at 2 or 3 in the morning.
Mate, Buzz was the king of the nightclub. Did you see it?
Oh,
he was loving it. Said it was the best night of his life.
Oh, there you go.
Had to drag him out of bed to get
That's
him there.
not hard, but anyway. What did you think, Dave?
Oh, I thought it was extraordinary. A week that rugby league will never forget, to be honest. And I think Kenty hit the nail on the head. The foundation has now been laid, and it's where the game can take it from here. I think what fans won't know is the relationships that were being built all week on the ground. The city of Las Vegas now knows what the NRL is, and the NRL, all the club CEOs were busy throughout the entire week building relationships that will go a long way going forward.
Thanks, Dave. Kenny, we loved it. What about the Americans?
Yeah, look, it was a bit sort of in patches, Braith. Some places with not a lot of coverage, but I found this story in the New York Post, which Mark Cannizzaro here for the Post went along. He's obviously covered Super Bowls. He was at the Super Bowl only 6 weeks ago. And he's praised for rugby league as a game. He called it rugby a little bit here and there, so he's still a novice to the game. He said he hadn't covered a rugby game in 40 years, but he was blown away by the physicality. So this is some of the things he wrote about, the constant raw brutality to its rhythm, and he just said that he made constant comparisons about how tough the game was. He talked about that first hit up where Jake Travois just came in and just put a shot on I can't remember the South player who hit the ball up now. But
Latrell, he bumped Jake off early.
Yeah.
There was a few head...
But look at this, they really reeled me in at the side of another player with blood streaming down the side of his head from an incidental hit. Now that was Lachlan Croker when he got his face all smashed up. That was quickly treated with a bandage wrapped tightly around his forehead that acted as a tourniquet, play on. And off he went. And see, in America, that's so foreign to them. And he actually says in that, of all their sporting codes, he said no code matches it in any of their codes as far as the level that's required as far as endurance, strength and talent and all the rest of it. He was quite taken with what had happened over there. And if we can only sort of manage to push that and get that continue through the American public and get it started in the American press, I think that's got to be a massive positive.
Yeah, Mark said that was one of the things Mark said as well. He's a good fella, spent a bit of time with him over there. He said they need to keep this momentum going, and that's the only way they're going to win over the American public, by being persistent with it, staying with it, and just keep getting on television over there and making Americans aware of it.
Does the Vegas game have the potential to sit alongside or compete with the likes of Origin in grand finals?
I think it does if it's handled right. I think if it's still... Look, it's all about scale. Origin's about scale. For whatever reason, it just outgrew the rest of the game. Grand finals, obviously, it's the biggest game of the year, so it's about scale. And this game, this doubleheader had scale about it. So many people flying in. They had the big, played at the Death Star. It just had everything about it said big. Yep. And that's what you got to. That's why they can't go back next year and play at a smaller ground somewhere, or just bring some teams over. Heaven forbid, some teams won't like to hear this, that aren't quite as big, won't quite have the following. You got to have scale.
Well, next year, I believe, I'll come to you guys soon, and you can react to this. I think next year's going to be bigger and better because a lot of the people back home saw the coverage, saw the attendance at the game, saw just how incredible the whole week was, and they'll want to be there. I know that for a fact. I know a lot of people have reached out to me. So I actually expect next year to be bigger and better than this year.
Yeah. A lot of the questions I'm being asked is what was the general public and crowd like, and what another influence too, which I think the game can latch onto. We know that the NRL are looking at possibly purchasing the UK Super League. There were so many English people there.
There was.
Right? And so for them, that's an easy trip. The game, as it suddenly becomes worldwide possibility, where both sides of the world is strong. By introducing the English side of the game to the US as well.
One thing they're really conscious of, Braith, is making a decision early. So the clubs that go next year will have more time. Their fans will have more time to plan for the trip. So they had a meeting on the Sunday after the grand final. I was going to say the Sunday after the double header, debriefed it all. They're going to call for expressions of interest in the next couple of weeks, and I'd imagine they'll have a decision within a month on who goes next year.
Well, Pilatus has got an interesting idea too, hasn't he?
He does. Well, that's what I was about to ask. Do you bring 4 new teams over and give 4 new clubs and fans that experience, or do you reward the teams like the Roosters and Manly who won and keep them there next year and have 2 challenges and the winner just keeps staying in Vegas? Winner plays on.
I think, well, I would say the one thing with rotating the teams is you guarantee access to an entire new fan base for every game.
But not every fan base is the same
No,
or
I know
has the amount of members. We need them to turn up. Like the game needs them to turn up. It's a big decision.
You need big clubs. I would have thought Penrith for sure. Their stadium's out of action. I would have thought Melbourne might go next year.
Well, let's cut to the chase.
The Warriors would be big.
The Warriors,
the
the
two
other one
clubs,
everyone's talking
the
about.
2 clubs that we've heard who are in the box seat to go next year are the Panthers, due to their stadium redevelopment, right? And they'll be looking to play games elsewhere. And the Melbourne Storm. Now, the Melbourne Storm were privately disappointed on how close they went to going this year. They narrowly missed out. For me, the Storm and the Panthers are in the box seat to be 2 of the 4 clubs.
All right, well, fans, keep your eyes open and ears open to see who's going next year.